Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Johnny. In this video, I'm going to show you an amazing remote access software or platform which I'm using daily, Netbird. There are many remote access software I have been introduced in my channel, such as Guacamole, Cloudflare, and other VPN solutions I've been using for the last couple of years. You can search VPN or Guacamole. You can find out more information on that. Netbird is the one I just recently starting to use. Again, I'm not sponsored by Netbird. I have no affiliation with this company. This is just because of the experience, and I think it's worth introduce to my audience in this channel just to make sure you understanding. This is my personal experience. For now, let's jump into the diagram, which I'm going to show you a typical use cases Netbird can provide it to. Netbird can provide private network connection and secure connection between your multiple locations or between your own computer in the internet and your home network. So there are many use cases Netbird can be used for to resolve your remote secure connection issue. But for this video, I'm gonna introduce just one typical use case, which is you have a computer on the internet, you just need to use a browser, then you can access your home network. The machine sitting at your home with Netbird client has been installed. Of course, RDP has to be enabled when we can use browser to connect into it. There's a benefit for this solution, which is you don't need to install any software on your remote computer. You can just use your browser, HTTPS, get in, of course, through Netbird Cloud, the SaaS solution platform. The very similar solution is Guacamole, which I'm also using. I introduced it in my channel many times, how to install Apache Guacamole. A little bit complicated solution, which is hard to maintain if you don't know how to update it, don't have much information how to install Guacamole applications, especially on the Linux platform. You also can use Cloudflare to do that. I do have a good video to show you how to use free Cloudflare VPN to securely access your home. But there's a missing part, which is browser part. You do have to run a software on your local machine, which is her remote computer. You need to have something to run from the command line. Don't have to be in a privilege mode. You can run it just through your command line, then you can use your RDP connection back to your home computer. That is Cloudflare solution. If you are interested on that, take a look at this video. But put all those benefits together, which is Netbird can bring in, is just using a browser, register a free account, then you can have fully RDP access back to your home. You can look at the pricing here. It starts as a free tier, 5 user, 100 machines. More than enough for the home lab, home connection, even small team, small company. If you want to pay $5, then we'll get more. But here is not what we're gonna focus. We're gonna just starting to finish this lab using this diagram. Since Netbird has a free tier service for everyone, you can get your account. You can get this started for free. This button, click on it. You can register with your email address, or you can use Google, GitHub, Microsoft, those accounts login. I do have my Google account, so I'm gonna register using my list account to log in. So probably 10 seconds, and you can finish registration process. Then you will get your list wizard to asking some basic information. Let's quickly go through it. I'm gonna use it personal. How did you hear about it? I'm gonna say I use in the Google search engine, found it. I'm gonna do remote home access. That's what I'm gonna do, or you can use that for file access. There's lots of more solutions, features you can do. They are still developing lots of that in the beta version. You can test it out. I'm gonna do remote network access. That's what I focus on. Add my first resources. That's fine. I'm gonna skip it from here because I don't have that right now. I don't need it to finish my latest lab, which is allow me from my remote computer get into my home computer. Let's skip to dashboard. So that's how easy you can get the account. This is how the dashboard looks like. You can quickly go through all of them one by one. Some features are in beta, which I really like, especially this reverse proxy feature. Hopefully it can be free in the future. Right now it's free, but I'm assuming in the future they may starting to put into a different tier. So that's how easy you can get this free account. Right now, just one user, which is me, and I don't have any peer, which is any devices has a Netbird agent installed. To better demonstrating this lab, I'm gonna use a remote RDP machine which I created at my home network, show as a home computer. So this is pretty new machine. I just installed it 192.168.2.246 Windows 10 Pro 22H2 old operating system, but still it's capable to finish this lab without the issue. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this machine as a peer into my Netbird network. Here is a button you can select add peer from this peers page. The steps is very straightforward. Configuration is simple as well. As long as you follow the steps I'm doing here, for sure in 5 to 10 minutes you can get remote access from your browser to your home machines. Let's download it. It's Windows 64-bit. 30 megabytes for this Netbird installer. Click on it, you will get this UAC user account control message. Just say yes, it's fine. Next, I agree. If you want to change installation location, you can do this. Change it to the D drive as I did here. Next, of course, you may want to start it automatically when Windows starts. That's Netbird UI. So all are default settings, other than I changed the output folder to D drive since my D drive is much bigger than C drive, which I want to put the all installed program on a D drive. You can start Netbird UI. You do need to connect to it. You can see this Netbird yellow icon sitting on your notification area in your taskbar. Click on it. We didn't connect to it. The status shows disconnected. There's some settings which we will go through in the next section. Click on your Netbird icon here. You go to settings. You will see there's quite a few settings. Connect on startup, enable quantum resistance, enable lazy connections, block inbound connections, all those. You can have advanced settings here as well. This will gonna tell you some connection informations. Network, SSH. As a beginner to use Netbird, don't change anything here. Since we are using it on a Windows machine, we don't need to enable SSH. So SSH section, completely forget it, other than you installed it on the Linux machine and you want to connect to using SSH port. So we can cancel those. Let's go back. So now what we're gonna do is gonna do the connect. We click on connect. It will automatically bring your browser up and ask you to authenticate it, sign into your account. So that's how they're gonna let you in, connect to your own Netbird network. So continue with Google. Since we register account with Google, then I'm gonna connect into my Google account here. You see, we need to authorize the app to get Netbird to access your profile and the email. That's normal. Just accept it. So login successful. Now this device is registered into your Netbird console. We should be able to see it. So let's go to our settings and change to peers. Now you can see my list machine is connect, and the show screen icon here is under my email address, and the computer name showing here. Here is a connect button. You see RDP here is available. We didn't enable SSH because this is not a Linux machine. There's no SSH open on this machine, only RDP available. So we can try to access using RDP. Once you click on it, this window gonna open. They're gonna ask you your username, password, and you can see the port is 3389. So you do need to know your computer's username, password to log in, because this window is brought up directly from your console. You need to log into your Netbird first, then you need to provide it again. The system, you're gonna log in username, password. You need both information. So let's log in here. I'm gonna try here. So let me do this. I'm gonna put this RDP window side by side. So the RDP window is here, and this is our remote session window. Let's open our RDP session window here. Then, so put both. This is my RDP remote session, which is already in. I'm gonna log in here. I provided my username, admin username and password, which has RDP permission to get into the machine. Connect to it. Wait. You might get a warning message for a certificate details. Let's say always trust, since we know where we are coming from, since we know where is our destination. Accept and continue. So after we logged in, we can see our existing RDP session has been disconnected. Now we have our remote access to this machine, which is the machine we are talking about, Windows 10 Pro 22H2. Perfect. So all seems doing well, but there's one thing I want to mention before I close this video, is that you may want to change one settings here, because you want to make sure your setting will not timed out. By default, the session gonna be timed out in 24 hours. So if you go to settings, authentication, scroll down, you will see session expiration 24 hours. You can change it to other days, 24 days, or even longer. But if you don't mind, if you know how secure your environment it is, you can turn it off, pure session expiration. In that way, your Netbird agent will not expire by itself every 24 hours. If that happens, you have to manually go back to your Netbird here to do the connect again. So if you didn't change the settings, the Netbird connection will expire in 24 hours. It will show disconnected. Then your remote session, of course, won't work. But once you turn this off, it will stay as long as your computer is up and running, the service is up and running. So that's the video I want to show you today. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something, and you can set this up. Of course, the Netbird can do much more than that, which you also has capability to expose your internal service to the public. You can use your custom domain to access it, just like what we did using the Cloudflare. But that's a different topic, a different video. We can talk about that. If you like this video, give me a thumb up and also subscribe my channel if you haven't. See you in my next one.